like to call the village board meeting to order. Roll call, please.
President Byrne?
Here.
Trustee Schultz?
Here.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Here.
Trustee Hebda?
Here.
Trustee Cook?
Here.
Trustee Markwart?
Here.
We have a quorum present. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, are there any citizens that wish to address the board? Oh, I see one in the back. Want to step forward and state your business?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you. Are you gonna stick around now?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so. You know. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. All right. Are there any real citizens that wish to address the board? 'Cause he's
is a real citizen.
He's a boomerang child, so hey, all the parents must enjoy that. Okay, if not, we have a couple of appointments to do tonight. First is appointment of Tom Quillle as Board of Fire and Police Commissioner for the Village of Vernon Hills. Want to step forward, please? Okay. Is there anybody here that is going to take a picture of this?
No?
Like the wife or something?
There you go.
All right. Well, let me
He's a,
step around for this one.
you can come up here. Come
No,
behind
no.
us.
Yeah, why don't you come up here? That's better. No, he can come up here. That's fine.
Okay.
And then you can stand there at the presentation altar. No, you got to come right here. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those meetings.
Okay, Tom. Want to raise your right hand, please? I, Thomas E. Quillle,
I, Thomas E. Quillle,
have been appointed to the office of the Board of Fire and Police Commission
have been appointed to the Board of the Fire and Police Commission
in the Village of Vernon Hills,
in the Village of Vernon Hills,
in the County of Lake.
in the County of Lake.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear,
and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Board of Fire and Police Commission,
of the Office of Fire and Police Commission,
the Board
the Board
of,
of Fire and Police Commission,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
All right, you're duly sworn in. Congratulations. Okay. Get ready to be beaten like a rented mule by the senior members.
Oh.
Tom, you want to say anything after that comment? Come on.
No, that's okay.
Sure? All right.
Looking forward.
And his fellow commissioners are here, so they'll take care of you, Tom. Okay, next is another swearing in. And this now is the new assistant village manager. What did I do with that one?
Hey, there's no swearing.
Oh, there's no swearing in?
You could swear
Okay,
if you
then
want.
I will,
You could swear.
I will
Point.
put his name in to recommend, to appoint him via the board's approval. So is there a motion to approve appointing
Motion to-
Thomas T. Carey to the position of Assistant Village Manager, Director of Community Relations? Is he here?
Joseph.
Joseph's right
Joseph.
Oh, Joseph. No, I'm not still on Tom. Oh, I saw the T. Is that Thomas? Is your middle name?
there. No.
Okay, well, that's close.
Timothy, I like
All
that.
right, Joseph T. Carey, you want to step up here? Okay, there's a motion,
Second.
Second.
and a second.
It was seconded over here.
Okay, you got the
It's a
second,
third,
Lisa?
too, so.
Yes.
Okay, roll call, please.
President Byrne?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, you're at the presentation hall there. This will be the last time you're there, so. Because you'll be sitting up here somewhere. We got a seat for him?
Right over
Okay.
here.
You have anything you want to say for yourself?
Well, thank you very much for approving my appointment. Met with you a couple weeks ago, and as well as Village Manager Calmer, and really can't wait to start enjoying the management team, and really looking forward to it.
Great.
Okay, well,
Welcome.
congratulations.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay,
Oh, over there.
what?
No, I'm talking to him.
Oh, yeah, you got to sit down now. Okay, are you ready for this meeting? Because I'll probably call on you about
Oh,
5,
jeez.
6 times. Whether
gonna
I
run
need to or
now.
not, so. All right, the first item is the omnibus vote agenda. Is there a motion to approve items A through P?
So made.
Second?
Motion is second, comments, questions, anybody want anything pulled for further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda? Aye. Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz?
Motion carries. Okay, unfinished business, approval of Kemper voucher list of bills
Just got kicked.
dated March 19th, 2014, in the amount of $5,123.18. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Second?
Motion is seconds, comments, questions, discussion on anything? If none, roll call.
Trustee Hebda? Aye. Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
For the record, I'd vote aye. Motion carries. Approval of the March 4th, 2014 Village Board meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion is second. Comments, questions, deletions, corrections? If none, roll call, please.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda? Aye.
Motion carries. Item C, approval and passage of ordinance 2014-015, an ordinance granting approval to amend the existing special use permit and certain other approvals to allow McDonald's to expand the drive-through lanes and remodel the existing restaurant at 700 North Milwaukee Avenue, Unit 147 in the Village of Vernon Hills.
Your Honor, at the committee of the whole meeting last month, staff was directed to prepare the necessary ordinance granting approval to amend the existing special use permit to allow the drive-through and the related improvements for the property. The committee of the whole also recommended approval of the signage package, but excluded the logo on the north elevation of the building. The ordinance that's in your packet reflects that recommendation. So the logo on the north side of the building is not included in the ordinance. The petitioner has provided some additional information in your packet, and they're here tonight to provide additional testimony with regards to that elevation and the need for that logo. If the board desires to reconsider the recommendation of the committee and include the logo, the ordinance would have to be modified in a motion that would basically read a motion to recommend to modify Ordinance 2014-015 to include the following sign variation as in Exhibit C as item number 5, and that would list the north elevation that would allow that logo.
Do we have a picture to put up or something?
Oh, yeah, they absolutely do.
Well, no, do we have a picture to put up? So what is it, the Golden Arches?
Correct.
So how big is it?
10.75 square feet instead of the maximum of 4 square feet, which we allow.
Yes. But there was-
And what is up there now?
On the front of the building, it's just the name McDonald's, but the Golden Arches is included in as the M on McDonald's right now.
Yeah, okay. And what was the findings from the committee?
Plan Commission unanimously recommended approval.
Okay. Well, Trustee Cook?
Okay.
Yeah, we, at the meeting, there was a motion made to allow it with it, and there was no second, so it failed. So They weren't allowed to have it. I still think this is an acceptable variation from our logo sizes, because I've seen a number of the other buildings. The one in downtown Munlight has the same basic frontal elevation, and I really don't think that logo looks that out of place. And I would like to see us reconsider to allow that.
Okay, and trustee Williams?
I'm sorry, I wasn't at the last meeting, but previously when they were in, we'd mentioned the drive-through lanes that had the yellow things at the top and all. Is that still yellow?
It's still yellow, the posts.
Yeah, it's right here.
They're still white.
The
Well, I know it
posts
is
are
on the
still
picture.
white.
I'm sorry.
They're still yellow, the posts are still white. They've made some improvements. We have a McDonald's logo on the east side, the north side, the west side. We have a sign on Route 60. I guess, how many logos do we need? 100?
No, no, here, just stay seated for a while. Okay,
That's my concern. I just
Okay.
feel like there's no willingness to listen to what I expressed at the first meeting. And then again, you've built, buildings elsewhere. Now, you did say you'll never put another McDonald's in Lake Forest because, that's all stone, very beautiful, very nice. And I guess I just wonder, you say this is for, what was the word you used for marketing or merch? I don't know.
Branding.
I just wonder, how many do you need? Branding, excuse me, that's the word, branding.
okay.
So that's my frustration.
But, I mean, the improvements to the building is there stone being added to this building now?
Yes, there is.
Mike Atkinson?
Yeah, there is stone. You could see it in the elevations on the
Right.
north, and then it also carries through to the other 3 elevations of the building. It's a combination stone and brick.
So the whole building's stone and brick?
That's correct. There's some metal elements to it as well as for the rooftop screening and such.
Yeah.
But primarily brick and
Is
stone.
the actual owner here tonight?
Nope.
Okay. 'Cause he owns how many? Who's the McDonald's guy? The McDonald's lady and the McDonald's guy. Okay. All right, that's fine. Okay, trustee Hebda, is that about it on it?
Well, that's where I stand right
Okay.
now.
Just one point of
Trustee
clarification,
Schultz, yeah.
just for trustee Williams. They did in fact agree to add additional plantings around the white post so that it would diminish the starkness of the white post.
Because these posts are manufactured and they can't, they receive them. It's part of what you get from the manufacturer and they can't paint them. That's the way they come and that's the way they'll be.
But, it's white and
Not
yellow.
if we don't vote it in, it won't be that way.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
white.
But this McDonald's is the same owner and they've been here, what, 25
Yeah.
years?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't let them have the golden arches when
Well,
they
I
came
know,
in
but
to begin with.
Well, these are exactly like I'm used to as a teenager.
Can we let him?
Well,
They
guess
were
what,
like
honey?
big.
Guess
They
what?
were like
Exactly,
sprawling.
and
Well,
we
this-
didn't allow it.
But
You were shorter than
but this,
It was shorter.
I'm just saying, I mean, these aren't
That's why they
the
look
big, arches like I can recall. It's not like the original one I drive by periodically in Des Plaines.
Plains, right.
That's
I mean, that's the original one.
Right.
Trustee Cook, you want to fire up again?
Yeah, my main reason for feeling like we should approve it in the first place was the fact that the planning commission
Yeah.
voted in favor of every one of the variances, and I'm
And I'm not
having
surprised at that.
having come from a commission earlier. I mean, I'm reluctant to overturn them without any kind of significant new
came
evidence.
from that
but I
same
understand.
committee.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
Yep.
I understand.
Yep,
I
we didn't
understand.
approve
In
it
fact,
then.
you appointed me to the one I
Exactly.
came from, but
Yeah.
But what didn't you approve then? Barb?
Just that one.
Seriously? No, I mean
no.
like the big arches?
Yes.
Okay, well, this is.
There's a little tiny arch out there on the park. My point is,
No,
somebody
I'm talking
mentioned,
about when she was on, this
my point
ZBA,
is that
or
somebody
not
said it's
P&Z.
branding, the company branding. Yes, I understand company's branding.
Yeah.
But we didn't allow the big golden arches, so that took away from the company branding. We are Vernon Hills, We set a standard. We don't follow everybody else's lead. We're
That's
not
true.
downtown Mundelein. We're not Lincolnshire on 21. I don't like it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's, well, that's fine.
Yep,
You know,
don't like
I mean-
signs, never
I
have.
mean, you know, in reality, I mean, you know, we still don't have the big concrete
Of course we
balls
don't.
in front of Target.
Right.
Yeah.
yes, we do.
Yeah,
Well, we do, we don't have the
We don't
Target
have
on
the-
Target.
We have the
Yeah.
Target, it's a smaller
It's a
version.
little small.
Okay,
It's not
all
a
right.
big.
Okay. All right, anybody else want to weigh in on this one?
I'd like to hear from the marketing folks, because they made their plea last time saying that, you know, this was the
Wanna hear
difference
from-
between profit and loss is this
sign?
additional set of arches. So I guess I'd like to,
Wait, from the McDonald's people?
Yeah.
I get whoever wants to speak, please.
I want the McDonald's people up here too. Well, if they get up out of their seats and they start moving, you know.
Okay, thank you, President Byrne, members of the board. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. I know it's a little unique. We will try to briefly address some of your concerns. And I appreciate the concern. I've worked in the village for many, many years. I appreciate the concerns about the logos. As the village president said, this restaurant has been here for decades. It's one of your oldest businesses in town. It is, excuse me, it is a new franchisee. He's not new to the system, but it is a new franchisee for this particular store. He's talking about, this is going to be one of the more expensive major remodels that McDonald's is doing. Over $1 million is being invested in this project. The logo that I think is being discussed, which is of a concern, is smaller than the M that's in the McDonald's right now, that's on the front of the building. And we have an exhibit, if we could get to it. First, I'd like to introduce the McDonald's representatives, but at the end of, we're not going to go through a whole big PowerPoint, but at the end of this PowerPoint, we do have a slide that shows how the signage for the whole building, when you say being responsive to village concerns and everything, the signage on this whole building is being reduced by about 50%.
So you're taking the sign up to 60?
No, we're not taking, you mean the monument sign? No, we're not, but that is smaller than it could be under your code. We're not asking to increase that. And every other sign around the perimeter of the building is being reduced in size. And we have a chart that we can show you when we get there. But let me turn the floor over. You don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from McDonald's. So if I could, in terms of the importance of the north elevation logo, I'd like to introduce you to Mary Meyer, right?
And Al Daniels.
And Al Daniels.
And let me ask Mike Atkinson a question. Did any of the other arches require any kind of variance?
The one on the west elevation did require
So is
variation.
that the same size as this one?
Correct.
10 feet, 10 square feet?
A little over 10 square feet, yeah.
Or it's bigger than 10 square feet?
It's
It's 10.75.
10.75.
And what's allowed?
4.
Okay. All right,
Mary.
yeah. Yeah, I know.
I'm Mary Meyer with McDonald's. I'm the regional real estate manager for the Chicago region. The arches are very important to us. It is branding, it is recognizable. I will tell you, the customer does not take the time to read the word McDonald's, but as you're driving by in a split second, you recognize those arches. Over 70, or in the neighborhood of 70% of our business is impulse, and that is someone I have no intention of going to McDonald's. I'm driving by, I see it, and I'm going to stop in. The village directly benefits from sales tax, from our sales, and it's very
What
important.
is it? Okay, now, don't go there. Don't even go. No, it's like,
I was gonna say,
I get to
don't go
use this
there.
line then. What do you do in sales there?
In the neighborhood of, I believe it's $2.7 million.
Okay,
2.7.
2.7. You know what we get?
So people know where you're at.
No, what do we get, mathematician Larry, on 2.7 million? $27,000.
We could increase that to probably 30. You know,
Whoop
if we were
de doo.
able to go
I'm gonna-
forward with this
what-
project. as
Don't
well.
use that argument in this town, okay? Because it's not, that's like a pimple somewhere on my body, and I'm not
Hey,
gonna
hey,
use
hey,
the
hey,
word,
be nice.
okay? Because if I had my druthers, there probably wouldn't be an outlet in town if you came in now. it would be like a restaurant.
Okay.
We'd want something that really generated revenue, okay? So if
Fair.
that plays somewhere else, that's great.
Sure.
It's not, you know, I mean, we got franchisees coming out the yin-yang, you know? So 27 grand, we don't levy a property tax, so you want to take that into account and, you know, bump that up as a donation
I
to the
didn't-
village?
Yeah. No,
You didn't know that, did
mention-
you?
No, I didn't mention anything.
There
with
is no
tax.
property tax to the village of Vernon Hills. You pay it to the schools, you pay it to the parks, you pay it to the fire department. We don't get a penny out of you other than your sales,
Understood.
all right? We all clear? What do you want to say?
Nothing else.
I don't know. My name's Al Daniels. I'm the project manager for McDonald's.
Yeah.
I'll be in charge of the construction of the store. We have done some sightline studies that show that north elevation is probably the most important to us.
Yeah.
I know you said that sales are not important to you, however, they are very important to us, because each store stands on its own.
I understand
And-
it, you
and it
know.
has
Now,
to-
is this a corporate store now?
No, sir, it's a franchise.
So who's the individual that owns the store?
Bill Mackesy.
He's one of the original franchisees with McDonald's. He owns over 40 restaurants in Illinois and southern Wisconsin.
So he's had his payday.
Pardon?
Yes, he's having a nice payday.
Yes.
You know, I'm sure the IRS loves the guy, right?
We
I
love
could
him.
not tell you what he's worth. I have no idea.
Got 40 restaurants, I could only guess. Okay.
Well, I understand that.
No,
but-
it's
but
immaterial.
yeah.
I mean, you're asking for a variance, I mean, you know, I guess technically, did this, plant, was this ZBA, right?
No,
P and Z,
It's
okay.
P&Z.
All right, did they approve, if you didn't ask for variation, were they gonna allow the sign?
I think they allowed everything.
No, I mean, would have been allowed, Mike, under our ordinance.
No, because they're too large. They need,
No. You said just 4 square feet.
4 square foot would be allowed, no variation
Yeah,
required.
you wouldn't even have to be here. Okay. All right,
But the variation was approved by.
yeah, I understand that. I mean, okay, so is there a motion to approve the request for the variation to make it 10 square feet as opposed to the 4?
10.75?
10.75, as opposed to 4 point?
And that motion would be to add that to the ordinance? Add this
As
Yeah.
drafted, yeah.
as drafted in?
Right.
Okay,
Absolutely,
Because originally, we eliminated it by not voting for it the last.
correct.
okay.
So you would
So
add
is there
it,
a motion?
So this is to approve the increase of a sign
This,
and
Roger's
to allow it on the north side of the building?
right.
So
Roger's
that's
asking,
twofold.
No, the ordinance as drafted allows one 10.75 arch
On the
along
west
with
elevation.
the word McDonald's on the north elevation, and the west elevation would
Right.
have the arch.
correct.
so the only
What-
thing that was
what-
pulled off the drawing you're looking at is this end.
The one on the left.
Yeah,
And Tom's motion is to allow for 2 arches, which would be the revision to the ordinance, adding the second set of, is that correct?
that would be my motion, yes. But I'm
Okay.
willing to bet. that
And the
it'll die for
McDonald's
lack
is
of-
not a variation, the name McDonald's.
The name McDonald's is in compliance with the sign code.
The north
Okay.
side and the-
All right, so this is the northern arches. So is there a motion to approve?
Yes.
Would be
Made a
to,
motion.
to alter the,
Yeah,
yeah. So that motion is made.
all right. Is there a second?
To bring it to a vote, I will second it.
Motion is seconds. No further comments or questions? Roll call.
Trustee Markwart?
No.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
No,
Trustee Hebda?
No.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
that you-
It's up to me.
President Byrne?
You can either tie it or,
No.
Okay, could-
No, but the mayor still gets to vote, but it doesn't pass.
All right.
Yeah, no.
So now I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance as drafted, which allows for the McDonald's word signage on the north and the set of arches on the west at 10.75 feet.
Okay, well,
That's what we approved at committee, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's recommended for.
Right, that's what the
okay,
ordinance was.
what
Except it
about,
wasn't here.
okay. I got a comment to make. What about then approving the arches at the 4 square feet plus? So they don't have to that doesn't even have to be voted on tonight because it's not a variance.
Right, they could choose to put a 4 square foot arch on the north elevation,
Right.
and that would comply with the sign code.
Okay.
Could I,
But that would only be one. They're only allowed one, correct?
That's correct.
and because of that, could I make one other suggestion? The logo is extremely important to the whole remodel project. If it would make, and even with the word mark, McDonald's, and the logo that's being requested at 10.75 square feet, it's still under the maximum permitted signage for the north elevation. But having said that, as a different option, I think that McDonald's and the franchisee would be willing to remove the McDonald's if they could have, on that north elevation, if they could just have the logo. That is more important to them than this, and that would be a substantial reduction to signage on the north elevation. The logo is more important. And so instead of, I forget, Jeff, how much, or Dawn, what would be the total square footage that's permitted on the north elevation? Altogether, isn't it like,
Well, Mike, you should know this.
I think it's
What
like
is it?
44 feet or 80?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. It's 1 square foot. There,
We'll go to the chart.
There.
if you can go to the site plan, please.
Well, here, right there. On the north elevation, the existing
the north.
signage is 67 square feet. What we've proposed is, with both the word mark and the logo, 43 and a half feet, which would be a reduction of 35%. And now what I'm suggesting is to take it down to just the logo of 10.75, where right now it's 67, 44 is permitted. I'm saying, just let us have the logo, it's only 10 square feet.
Would you put the north elevation of the building back up?
There you go.
So keep the logo where it's at and get rid of the McDonald's sign, is that what you're saying?
Take off the word McDonald's.
Okay, but leave the little logo over on
Leave the
right?
logo, right. Because, again, we have another exhibit here we haven't shown you, but whether you're driving, okay, show the drive exhibit.
On the other side, yeah.
No, not that. No.
That's why I asked him to show the north elevation.
No, this one. Do you want to walk through that, Jeff? This is what we're talking about, the importance of the logo and the visibility because of how far the restaurant is set back. And
These are what, the helicopter views?
here, Jeff, what?
Satellite.
My name is Jeff Miller with Watermark Engineering. We did the civil engineering, the landscaping, the site planning on the project, and we prepared this visibility exhibit based on the comments that we've been getting from the Planning Commission and the Committee of the Whole. And we wanted to depict how important it is for this logo recognition. There's another study that was, 2 studies that were provided that went through the impulse buy. Mary suggested a reference to that, as well as how important signage is. McDonald's has done a lot of studies on this, and they all mesh together. And if you can't be, McDonald's is not something you think about, well, I think, on Friday we're going to go to McDonald's for lunch. It's usually something that's an impulse buy, or at the most 1 or 2 hours before you go have your lunch or your dinner or whatever. And so impulse buy is a very significant part of their business. In fact, 67% of their business is impulse buy. 90% of their business is 2 hours or less before you actually have the meal. That decision point is huge. And so visibility of that with people driving by making those, spur of the moment decisions is significant. And the word McDonald's isn't as significant as the arches. I got my 2-year-old kids sitting in the back seat of the car. They know McDonald's. That's a part of the alphabet to them is McDonald's. But so they recognize that very early, and so that's why those arches are so important to McDonald's anywhere. So they'd much rather have the arches there than the word McDonald's. And I can go through a lot of data that they have that was submitted that basically says a decrease in the signage, what we're really asking or, to reconsider, it actually has a negative 7% impact on sales by reducing the signage of an existing building. They did a study of about 60 different stores across the U.S., and this is what they came up with. An increase in the sign area on the building was a 12% increase in sales. Incremental increases, this whole redevelopment of the building, we're looking for increased sales as well because of the rebranding. That's how important the branding is. So we're willing to give away 33 square feet of sign, McDonald's, word McDonald's, for a 11 square foot logo. That's how important it is.
And Jeff, could you also explain how that 11 square foot logo compares to the existing M logo in the existing McDonald's sign on, and maybe you can put that up. Do we have
the existing arches, the M that makes up the word McDonald's on the front of the store right now is 42 inches by 42 inches. What we're proposing with just the new arch above, on the stone is 36 inches high by 43.5 inches wide. So a little bit smaller than what's there today. If we go much smaller, it's not going to be seen because this visibility exhibit shows people are making a decision as they go through that intersection. 800 to 900 feet away is the driveways to get into the shopping center.
What is this, 5 minutes, Bart?
So okay, I'm about ready to wrap it.
That's about what you get.
400 feet away, it's much easier to see arches than it is to see a word McDonald's. Bottom line. And so, spur of the moment, we need something that they can see like that to make their decision to turn left at the intersection or not.
Did you say you had a picture of the current signage?
Yeah, can you put, Dawn, do you have the?
Because we got a lot more important things than this tonight, gentlemen, than your sign. So let's pick up the pace here. You're at board level.
I think we're done.
With that being said, it's my motion that's on the floor, so let me amend my motion that still hasn't been seconded.
Okay.
To allow for the placement of 2 McDonald's arch logo signs as shown in the drawings, one on the north, one on the west, and the elimination of the word McDonald's as signage on the building, and that will do it.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Comments and or questions from the board.
This is just on
Trustee-
his motion.
Trustee Hebda.
What happens to the sign on 60? What do you do to that? Nothing, it
Nothing.
stays as is. Nothing changes.
That sign is presently
Just,
50% of what's allowed for that sign per your ordinance, and we aren't planning to do
and you won't
anything
change
with
anything on
Correct.
that.
Is that true, McDonald's? Threesome now?
She's the architect.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
All right.
you aren't willing to paint those columns.
Okay. All right. So we're back to the drawing board.
So we're just talking about signs right now, we're just talking about.
We're
the
talking
columns.
about-
No, we're talking about the ordinance as presented by staff, as amended to indicate that the approved signage, if we vote yes, will be 2 McDonald's logos, each at 10.75 square feet,
Right.
and no McDonald's word, sign, lettering, whatever,
On the north face.
Right.
on the
But
north.
the yellow
And this is
drive-through
to
things.
approve
Right.
ordinance 2014-015
Is that
with those
McDonald's
changes.
foot or something?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just to clarify.
Yep.
Okay.
I wasn't here, and I still don't agree with it.
Okay. Well, there's a motion and a
I like the
second.
sign.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
I'll tell you right now, I'll vote aye, but if those columns see any damage,
I
if
agree.
they're banged up, if your landscaping is screwed up, I will make sure that my building commissioner is out there hounding your person to keep that property nicely done, because you're telling me these columns are gonna be great, and I don't believe you. So if they get hit or banged, I will make sure that you guys take care of that. So I'll vote aye, but you understand where I'm coming from, because that's a huge corner to us, huge.
And I'll go through there every morning about 4 o'clock and check it out. I think I'm kidding. I go that way to go to work.
Any other comments or questions?
We got to finish.
Trustee Cook?
Yeah, that's.
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
President Byrne?
Aye.
Thank you
And
very
like
much.
you see, you promised us landscaping, so let's make sure it's there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Came dangerously close to tabling this and asking for the Oak Brook McDonald's on York Road.
Yeah, that would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Okay, all right, let's move on here, huh? Okay, new business or communication to come before the board?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Number one, I got an email from Deidre Silverstein, who was very, 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 very grateful for the work that the Village and the Park District did together in mitigating the skunk problem last fall. However, and I have to agree with her, she has already recognized that they are starting to come out of their dens and that they have been noted, and the chief and I were talking, and we've already had 2 or 3 corpus delicti in the middle of the roadways. Basically, I just want to say that I think it would probably be a good thing to start some of our public way trapping again, if that's possible. And with that being said, I talked to the chief, and he has a few dollars in his budget. I talked to John, and he says that he has a few dollars in next year's budget, but I think that that's something we may want to investigate again, and also investigate the partnership with the Park District to facilitate some additional trapping. I think we got, what, 36, 38 last, something
Yeah,
in the
I think between what we did and what the trapper did privately with individual homeowners, it was somewhere around 50.
Yeah. So, but it is a problem in the community. So with that being said, I guess I'd like staff to think about how we can execute some type of program again this spring. The second is in today's transmittal. I don't know if everybody got a chance to see it, but there is a letter in there from the high school. I asked Village Manager Kalmar to contact the high school. There's a lot of talk this time of year about kids getting their college acceptance, and they've taken the ACTs and the SATs, and there's also other individual tests. And I was wondering if there was a way to recognize some of our young students, our seniors, who will be moving on, but that have done exemplary work and scored in the higher percentiles, and in several cases, perfect scores in their ACTs and SATs. And I was wondering, again, this is for future consideration, whether or not the mayor would like to consider a mayor's award for academic achievement that we could recognize on an annual basis for those students that meet that level of considerable achievement. So with that being said, that would be something I'd like staff to take a look at and for us to discuss further. That's it.
Okay, Trustee Cook.
I just wanted to compliment Chief on the way the department handled our incident this morning there at Butterfield and 60. The phone calls went out so fast that I think that helped a lot of people in town avoid that right away and got it to the news medias as quickly as possible. And I know it was still a difficult situation, and people had to drive significant amounts of distance out of their way, but at least the word got out very, very quickly. I know the school district was heavily affected by it, and they were able to get out their blast phone calls and that very, very quickly. So I think that and the fact, you guys did have to roll an IPUS call, didn't you?
We did an ILEAS car plan, so we got 5 other cars from other communities.
Yeah, so it could have been a much more difficult situation, and I just wanted to compliment the guys on how well they handled it.
No, I thank you very much, but the truth be known, we could not have done it. And I talked to the watch commander afterwards, and they said that we could not have done the job we did without the help of Public Works. They said their guys showed up, especially Dave, Z, and Gene showed up with the barricades at the cones and started laying the cone patterns out with our guys, and it really made things a whole lot easier. And LDOT got involved. They showed up on the scene. They had their movable signboards, and then through the what's that called? The connect. Through the traffic, through the passage system where all the lights are linked, they were able to manually go in and change the timing on the lights to allow traffic to move through the intersections that weren't affected much more smoothly and allow traffic to get through the area much better. So it really was a group effort. It shows that the plans and processes that we have in place and the personnel can do a very good job in these circumstances.
You know, very, very well handled.
It bit the dust. But what are the Boy Scouts like to come up here and pick up the 5-minute glass or the 3-minute egg glass, please?
Hopefully, not broken.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm sure there's a badge for that, right?
There's got to be.
Okay. Okay.
You don't want-
Trustee Schultz is,
Done.
okay. Any other new business or communications? A email blast went out. Lisa, did you send the email blast out on blastomycosis? And that went out to how many people in town?
2,195.
Okay, is everybody aware what that is?
Yes.
Okay, the dogs I'm sure because they're so, curious, they can pick up this airborne pathogen, which is caused, the fungus grows in moist soil or vegetation. Well, this year we're gonna be out of control, and apparently some dogs have already gotten sick. So I got an email, from my neighbor, and so we sent the blast out. So you might want to be careful, with your pooches, when you're out walking. Go ahead.
Your Honor, we also posted information on the website.
Yeah.
There was links to a previous interview that Lynn Brandel did with a local vet that
Right.
talked about it and what can be done. And then we also included a link in there from Pet MD that again describes the basic content of the disease, the illness, and what can
Right.
be done, et cetera, et cetera. So,
And it can be fatal to
yes.
an animal, and it's probably, come on, it's probably the dogs and maybe cats and.
The cats are susceptible also.
Yeah, now if we could only get the
Let's kill the
skunks, well, yeah, that's what I was thinking, hell, maybe we could put a special,
Well, just don't let
trail.
them read the emails.
Yeah, if the skunks, we didn't send them out to them, did we? No, okay.
No, we didn't tell them.
All right, fine. Okay, that's all I got. Next is there a motion to adjourn the board meeting and go to committee of the whole, and we have to go to closed session to discuss what?
All right.
Thank God for small favors.
So
Okay.
moved.
All right, so is there a motion to adjourn the board meeting and go into committee of the whole?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, roll call, please.
Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye?
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz?
Motion carries. Okay, now I'm out of my, give me the, was bouncing around looking for that, and I got out of the committee of the whole.
Go bounce.
Oh,
Did you get you back in?
man. Oh. No,
Why does it
I'm
choose
in
work that way?
emails, I'm in the email.
Oh.
Here, play with it. I don't
Play with it.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Well, okay, I'd like to call the committee of the whole meeting to order. First motion approval of committee of the whole meeting minutes of March 4th,
Oh, yours is
2014.
with that same vote.
Second.
Motion seconds, comments, questions, deletions, corrections? If none, roll call.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye?
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, next, request for outdoor dining and seating establishment permit for Smashburger located in Westfield Hawthorn Mall, 426 Hawthorn Center.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the board is aware, the committee considered this request at their February 18th meeting. It was a request for, as you stated, outdoor dining that would be located immediately in front of the restaurant.
I know.
There would be 7 tables with a seating capacity of 28 customers that are proposed. And there would also be a decorative fence around the dining area to separate customers who may be consuming beer or wine from outside the dining area. At that review, the committee requested an alternate design to what was then a wood fence enclosure.
I think I got it.
Smashburger was also requested to change the layout or add a door such that customers can access the outdoor dining area directly from the restaurant. Per the committee's direction, the wood fence has been replaced with an aluminum black fence, and the layout of the fence has been changed such that when you come out of the main door, you're immediately in the dining area. That revised plan is attached to your packet, and for tonight's meeting, if the committee feels that the request is appropriate, then staff should be directed to prepare a resolution approving the outdoor dining permit subject to the conditions that are outlined in your packet, and a representative of Smashburger is here to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, what's the exact location of this in Westfield? What north, south, east, west?
Northeast, pretty much right next to Dave & Buster's. I'm sorry, southeast, next to
South.
Dave & Buster's, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any comments or questions for the board on this one?
The railing's fine.
Looks nice.
Trustee Hebda?
I want to thank you for listening to our comments. I certainly appreciate the change in the fence as well as the umbrellas, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
There's a motion to approve and a second. Any further comments or questions? If none, roll call.
Trustee Cook?
Aye?
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
I'm sorry, I was a little behind. I do have a question before I commit to vote. We talked that you were going to apply for a liquor license or a beer and wine license?
Beer and wine, yes, sir.
Okay, there's a opening here that can allow the public to enter, and there's really no supervision out here per se of this area, so that someone could in fact buy some beverages inside, bring them outside, and consume them in this area without having to go at least through your doors. I was kind of hoping that the door here was going to be through your storefront here. I understand why you've got the doorway in your vestibule there. It's probably for energy concerns.
Also, I understand that you guys were not presented with the entire floor plan for this building.
You need to speak up.
I'm sorry. I understand that you guys were not presented an entire floor plan of the interior, the layout of the store.
Right.
And this store functions very much like a Chipotle would, where you have a queue line. That
Right.
queue line does follow that storefront up to the counter, and I actually have a floor plan here that I could show you.
Well, with that, in a sense, that's neither here nor there. I mean, that,
Well, I guess the reason that I would like to show it to you is because it's not quite as easy to put in that storefront door. It really disrupts the
okay,
queue
that,
line,
that's fine.
which is why we didn't.
Right, time out. Hang on. I'm more concerned about the gap in the fence there because this is a beer and wine establishment. Therefore, with the feedback that you just gave me during a little voting cycle here, I'm voting no. So we can move on with the vote, but I'm a no.
Okay, Mike Atkinson, can you speak to the concerns that were just presented?
If I understand Trustee Schultz correctly, the opening that gets you from outside of the dining area to inside of the dining area doesn't have a gate. If it had a
Well,
self,
it's not completely closed
if
in.
it had a
I'm-
self-closing gate, that would completely.
No, it needs to really be something that's
You can get in and out
fixed
there anyway.
other than an emergency for emergency egress. Because, again, this is going to be a beer and wine establishment. So, I mean, if it was just a burger joint, I don't care. I don't even need the fence. The fence is beautiful, I like it. But, you know, if it was a McDonald's or a Five Guys or whatever, it wasn't serving beer and wine. But if they're coming back for a beer and wine, then I want control.
Understood.
Well, you're,
Sir, I apologize. Does it make a difference that this is, that's not primarily your function? I mean, it's just, you know, minor sales. I mean, you get one to,
We
I'm
take
just
beer and-
asking if it.
We take alcoholic beverage very seriously.
question I was going to bring up is, you have a point to that, but you can walk into Wild Buffalo Wings on the north side, right in, and that's a seating area that's outside. You can go over to the beer market and walk in on either side of the building without any visual, because you have a plant there. So I understand on this, but I would still vote yes on this.
But at both those locations, you do have supervision. This is, no, you have waitress service out on the patio at the beer market. You have waitress service underneath the portico at Buffalo Wild Wings there, in the smoking area, really, is what that is. This, you're not going to have. This is basically a burger joint. You go in there and then you can go sit out under the umbrellas. That's what we were told before.
That is correct, but the food is
So
brought,
that's-
the food is brought to you by a server. You know, you do get your own beverage, but the food is brought out to you by a server. So it's not completely unsupervised, but it is, so it's a fast casual dining concept. There are people going to
Are
be.
all your people that are going to be bringing out food going to be Bassett certified? Including the runners?
The managers on duty will be, and they do walk through the dining room as well all the time, and we do.
That's not good enough.
Okay.
I'm still a no.
Okay.
We can move on.
Let's continue.
You got a picture of this? Not a drawing? I mean, is there,
There's,
I can't, mine is shut down,
Well.
so.
I'm sorry,
there's another one this way.
Okay.
Go back.
Other way. One
There.
more back.
One more.
Right there. Oh, you just had it. Roger.
There. Oh, that's better.
Go back. Go back. No, the other way. One more.
One more.
Right there. There's your entrance.
This is the entrance here. And this is the food area here. Or the outside dining.
Yeah, okay, but this butts up to the actual parking lot for a shopping mall.
not directly.
The outdoor, I mean, is this near any kind of parking there?
It's about 15 feet from the access drive immediately in front of the Dave & Buster's and Smashburger.
Okay.
In front of what?
Well, does staff have a problem with this? Staff, any staff person?
At the-
No problem with this at all? Okay,
the mall.
all right. Any other comments or questions? Yeah, I don't know. It usually doesn't do that. Okay, so the request is for an outdoor dining and seating establishment permit for Smashburger located in Westfield Hawthorn Mall, 426 Hawthorn Center. Is there a motion to approve?
No, we're into the vote.
We're into it.
Okay, well, is there, roll call?
Keep going.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Oh, jeez. Aye.
Trustee Hebda? President Byrne?
Aye. Is that enough votes?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Motion carries. Okay.
Thank you.
Can somebody open up my computer?
Yeah, we're losing email.
Yeah, I don't, just get me
Well,
into the
John
board
had to
meeting.
fix mine to get it
No.
open. But I think they're all taking a dive again. His was just.
Bad mojo.
Bad mojo. It's when I came
I'll just go
in.
into my
No,
docs.
mine was like that before I got here.
I don't,
Mine has to go in the hospital till I leave.
no,
Trying to
because
keep
Tom
it-
lost his over here. Yeah, you know.
Tom,
Well, who's got a full packet?
Tom,
Yeah, let me just
No,
have
not
the
yet.
packet. You got it, Lisa, over there? Is there a printed packet somewhere?
do you want to use mine for
No, no,
No,
no,
it'll
no.
break. Mine did.
Nobody has one?
No, we'll have,
Well, we're almost
Here,
through
here,
the
I'm-
budget.
here, I'll give you
so
mine.
we're almost
I'll
through the
share
Okay.
his. You use mine, I'll share his. I think we need to go back to the packets, whatever.
I don't know why these are shut. Now you got it on yours. Okay, okay.
Well, the next item,
Yeah, I don't have an agenda.
the next item is night work request from Hawthorn Mall.
Yes.
This one?
There you go.
Where is it? Yeah, some of it. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay, Westfield Hawthorn, okay. So what do we talk about? Working through till what time, the morning? I mean, just all night long?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, it's between 10 PM and 7 AM, Monday through Friday. The work would be on the northeast section of the mall. It's in connection with the theater.
Oh, that's right.
And we're at a stage where, starting in April,
I understand.
they're going to start setting the steel for the theater. And a
Hey,
portion of the...
Lisa?
A portion of the theater is located, some of the steel is located over a portion of the mall, primarily the food court. So there's really no way they can set that steel over that portion of the mall with people in the mall. So that's why they're requesting to be able to set it at night, because the mall would not be occupied. The other alternative would be, they'd simply have to close those stores for the time that it would take for them to set that steel. I've attached to your packet a list of conditions that you could read through. Of particular is that we would limit them to Monday through Friday. They could not work at night on the weekend. Any lights that would be used would have to be faced south, away from the residential uses. The delivery of materials could only take place during permitted hours of construction. So the only work that would take place is the setting and bolting of the steel and the metal pan for the roof deck. Welding would be during the day. So it would just be setting steel, bolts, roof deck, nothing more. We're requiring that a supervisor would be there during the whole time of construction. And then the biggest thing is condition number 9, which says that the village reserves the right to discontinue nighttime construction if at any time it is determined to be a nuisance to the adjoining residential uses to the north. I would recommend that be one of the conditions in the resolution if the board deems it appropriate to approve this. That way, moving forward, we get a week into this thing, and if we're receiving multiple calls from the residences, we've got it already in the resolution to act and ask them to stop working at night. So with that, a representative of the contractor is here to answer any questions you have, and if the board does think that this is appropriate, then staff should be directed to prepare a resolution approving the nighttime work, again, subject to the conditions that I outlined in your packet.
My name is Ron Melner, and I am with Westfield, and I'm the project manager on the project. I also have with me representatives for Carey, who is the general contractor. Very honestly, we would prefer not to do this at night. However, this is purely a safety issue where we've got to do an overbuild over a portion of the mall that only goes to the truck dock area. After that period of time, we'll stand the steel up during normal working hours during the day. And I think it's important to note, too, that as we're lifting that steel at night, as we said, all the lights are going to be faced to the south. And the only lifting we're going to be doing is with a crane and lifting steel up. And when we say bolting,
We're going to be bolting it and securing it, but we're not going to be doing the detailing, which is a lot of the loud noise that you hear when you're going through steel. That'll be done that'll be done during the day. This allows us to maintain our schedule and maintain the safety of the people inside the mall, both the workers and the customers and everybody else who is around there. And we're asking the trustees and your board approval to allow us to do it. Our scheduled time for this is from 1st of April through the end of May. And we do understand that there is noise when this does happen. We have been witnessing a winter now that's going on and on and on and on. And although we don't want it to go on and on, we're hoping that during that period of time, maybe the windows are down or something like that. But we do understand that there is an issue here, and we're trying to be as most compatible as we can with the ordinance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Comments and questions, Trustee Schultz.
In my prior life, I was stuck having to do stuff like this, and the one thing that I would ask you to think about is maybe instead of Monday through Friday, Sunday through Thursday, in other words, work Sunday night. People go to bed and they're kind of out of, they've locked themselves into their homes on those nights. Friday and Saturday, you might start drawing a crowd, or Friday night, et cetera, et cetera. It's worked for me in the past, following that kind of schedule when people are normally down and away from the building, and might help you. That's my only comment or suggestion. Other than that, yeah, I concur.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve. Roll call.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Motion carried.
If you do decide to change those, would you let Mr.
I will.
Atkinson know? And
We will. Thank you very much.
Yep. Okay, Companion Animal Hospital, 1101 North Milwaukee Avenue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Petitioners are here tonight. They had previously appeared before the Planning and Zoning Commission on February 26th to request two items. First was to amend the conditions of approval of the existing special use permit as set forth in Ordinance 2006-77 to eliminate Condition 11, which prohibited any special uses on the property. And secondly, approval of a special use permit to allow an animal hospital to be known as Companion Animal Hospital to be located in Suite 101 on the property. They did appear before the Planning and Zoning Commission. They've also previously appeared before you all at a concept presentation. Again, this is for the location in the Apple Orchard Square Shopping Center, which is directly south of the Ernie site. As you will recall, the original ordinance which approved the shopping center eliminated all special uses from there simply because there was such uncertainty as to what was going in. The commission and then ultimately the board was concerned about making that property available to too wide a variety of uses. So that Condition 11 restricted it and basically said you don't get any special uses on this site. Since that time, the center has operated actually very well. We have not had any problems whatsoever, traffic, parking, adjacent neighbors, complaints, et cetera, et cetera. They've actually been very good neighbors to the surrounding folks. So the petitioners have come back to request, again, amendment to the original approved ordinance to allow special uses on the site, and then specifically then to allow special use for the actual animal hospital to go into Suite 101. The Plan Commission reviewed both items at the public hearing on the 26th and voted unanimously to recommend approval of both the amendment to eliminate Condition 11 and then to also then recommend approval of the animal hospital. And it's subject to the 4 conditions that are in your packet. Those primarily dealt with non-medical prohibition of any kenneling on the property other than for medical reasons. The business owner needs to obviously provide for pet waste cleanup options and must clean up immediately if pet waste is found on the property. Recognition that the staff may walk pets to make sure that they're okay before they release them. And then finally, restoration of existing landscape plant materials on site to reflect the approved landscape plan as approved in 2006-77 prior to issuance of the certificate of occupancy. The property owner is here tonight. He understands what he needs to do, and we'll be working with them on our staff to make sure that the landscaping is reestablished where necessary. If the committee feels that this is appropriate, it would be suggested that a motion be made to direct the staff to prepare the necessary ordinance granting approval to both items subject to the conditions that are set forth in your packet. And I can answer any questions, or again, the petitioners are here if you need additional clarification.
Trustee Schultz.
I see from the drawing that we were given that they're not utilizing the entire Zaza space.
Correct.
I guess, what's the ownership's plan for the remaining, and how much is that? And
It's about half the space. They're working with a couple of folks. I don't know.
are we going to need to have another special use?
Could be. I mean, it's possible. I mean, you never know. I mean, you could have just a straight retailer go in there or somebody like that who you would never see. So, I mean, but it is possible.
Okay. Is there any further comments or questions from the board? Is there any open issues with staff?
No.
Straightforward.
No, we'll work with the property owner to get the landscaping reestablished and go from there.
Okay.
Motion to direct staff to prepare the necessary ordinance for the special use and whatever
As
else.
set forth in ordinance 2006-77, and to eliminate conditional 11.
Subject to the conditions as set forth, so.
And the special use permit to allow an animal hospital, right?
Yep.
Okay. Is that the motion, Jim?
Yes, sir.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. If there's no further comments or questions, roll call, please.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebe?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Welcome to town. Hey, where's Zizzo tonight? Huh?
Florida.
He moved there? Oh, yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah, he's got enough money to get out of here. Yeah. Okay,
It's 5 minutes.
5 minutes, all right.
5 minutes.
All right, next item is the right-of-way directional signs, consideration of draft policy, code of amendments, and installation contract.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the board is aware, there have been a number of conversations regarding the installation of wayfinding or signs for businesses that don't have frontage on a primary arterial. And the focus of this discussion was mainly in the area on Center Drive and Hawthorn Parkway. The board reviewed and provided feedback on various design opinions and potential locations for the signs. So far, what the board has determined is that there would be 4 appropriate locations for the signs. One would be at the intersection of Center Drive and Ring Road, and that would be mounted on the light pole. The second one would be at the intersection of Lakeview Parkway and Center Drive, and that would be ground mounted. The third one would be at Lakeview Parkway and Town Line Road. Again, that would be pole mounted. And then the fourth one would be within an easement that was created on the Bucky's property at the intersection of Town Line Road and Ring Road. During that discussion, staff received direction from the board on the general design concept, and the board directed that final drawings and estimates be prepared. Also, the board further directed staff to prepare draft policy and regulations for the placement of the directional signs in the village right-of-way. So for tonight's meeting, staff is seeking final direction on two items. One is the review design, review of the design and the cost to install the signs. And secondly, the review of the draft policy and the regulations. I can start by talking about the designs. You can see on your screen is an example of the ground-mounted sign.
Yeah.
You can see the village's name and logo will be located at the top. Individual tenant panels would then be at the bottom. There'd be no more than 4 tenant panels on each sign. The size, including the 4 tenant panels, would be 23.5 square feet. The height would be 16 feet. I can also show you an example. That's an example of what the sign would look like on the light pole. There's 2 locations where it's required to be located on the light pole because there's so many underground utilities that there's really no room to install it on the ground. So we had to come up with an option of installing it on the light pole. We also have a photo of what it would look like for the ground-mounted sign. The estimated cost for all 4 signs is $22,800.
How much, Mike?
It's $22,800. In fiscal year budget 13-14, we estimated the cost to be $20,000, and that sum was included in this year's budget. So if the board deems it appropriate, we can encumber that amount and then add an additional $2,800 into the 14-15 budget as part of this final budget process. So in essence, the signs came in at $2,800 more than we had estimated at the time. I could stop there, and I'd be happy to entertain any questions regarding the design and the cost of these signs. If the
Does
board
the
has.
name of the businesses slide in and out, Mike?
Yeah, well, no, they'll be mounted. The 4 panels, yes, they don't slide in and out, but the panel
Then
itself
it
will
locks
be
or
installed or
something, right.
disconnected. Yes.
Okay, nice. And the businesses pay for that portion of the sign?
That's correct, and I can, and I'll review that when I get into the policy. But the idea is, the business pays if they want a tenant panel. They pay for the cost to install it, plus a $200 initial license fee, and then every year there's an annual $100 renewal for the license to keep their name on there.
Mm-hmm.
The thought is over gosh knows how many years it'll help defer the
for-
cost of
sure.
the signs. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so basically you just need direction tonight to keep going with this?
Yeah, for this part of it, I'm just asking for direction on, do you like the design of the sign? And if you think the estimate is okay, then I would ask for a motion directing staff to prepare a resolution authorizing the village manager to enter into a contract with Chicago Sign Group to install these signs at a price not to exceed $22,800.
Trustee Hebda?
I'm not sold on the location by Buc-ee's. I just feel that that's going to clutter. I don't know. I just can't see that being, to me personally, an appropriate location. Plus, knowing we've got the signs now. Where are the signs at Hawthorn Commons? There's one on 60. There's another
On Lakeview?
on Lakeview. I'm just feeling like this is like over
I think we need
saturated.
it back, for sure, back on my center drive, back
I
that
mean, yeah, I
direction.
can see the one by.
Well, obviously, the
Yeah.
importance of the one at Buc-ee's is the 60 exposure. That's the importance. of
Yeah.
that. That's probably more important than the
But
one at
it's-
Center.
I wonder
Yeah.
if we could get it on the other corner instead of by Buc-ee's.
I mean, in Westfield?
Yeah, if they'd let us. put it
Oh,
there.
well, Buc-ee's, I would,
Buc-ee's agreed.
trying to do that, well, where's the Westfield guy? He left. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
and to Cindy's point, I know what she's saying. That intersection or that particular corner is gonna be busy.
Well,
Gonna be busy little bee over there. All of the.
yeah, well, that's why they want, that's
Yeah.
why those people back there want it.
Well, I mean, and
You
it's
know?
also,
I mean, if you.
we're
If you
very
wanna go
limited.
back and, you know,
I
call
would say put it on the
Genovese,
other end.
I
down
wish
by
we
the
would have done
entry.
that already.
Well,
The entry
but
there.
remember though, it's not Westfield per se, it's probably Macy's.
Yeah, it's
that comes
probably.
out.
That is Macy's, it is,
Yeah,
you're
it'll
right,
probably
you're
be
right.
5 years from now before you get a
But
response.
instead of putting it right at the corner, though, what if you put it at the north end of Bucky's, say, to use that, but,
Well, I mean,
you know,
it's
about
the
that
60
driveway there?
You gotta see it up.
You can still see it from 60.
No.
But you get the big sign right there.
This will be a lower one, so it'll sit,
well, Bucky's is going to have a monument sign, and this will be
I don't care
slightly
about
above
Buc-ee's
it.
Right now, I'm talking about the ones in the
No
back.
flashing.
Explain, okay, this will be how big of a sign, the Bucky's monument, this sign on Bucky's property, which they've already agreed to.
Correct. There's an executed easement
Right.
that gives us the rights to
How
place.
about what is
it.
the size of it?
For Bucky's sign,
Yeah.
No, it's sign.
Bucky's,
On Route 60,
the height is 8 feet.
Anyone-
The height from grade to the top of the sign is 8 feet for Bucky's.
okay, and now for this sign,
The height is 16 feet, and the bottom of this sign is
Top of the sign.
108 inches, which will place that above the height of Bucky's, so there'll be
yeah,
no,
well, it's gonna look like a light pole.
Yeah.
On
With
top
these
of
hanging
Bucky's
signs.
sign.
exactly, and it
But
won't
it's
look,
not on top of Bucky's sign, it's next to Bucky's
Right.
sign, because Bucky's sign is a
It'll look like
monument
it's-
sign.
It'll look like this.
You
Bucky's
know,
sign,
I don't want,
light bulb.
if you wanted to change any other sign, fine. This one, we had to beat them about the head and shoulders. to
for a
get
long
that.
time, yeah.
And 60's, if you wanted to take the other two signs out, and you just needed the two signs on 60, that's what these people back there are looking for.
Looking for, and they're not.
Now,
did trustee Markwart make the motion?
I don't know.
No, I
I'm
have a
beating him
motion,
right
I
now.
see
Oh,
All right, is there a motion?
So made.
directing staff to prepare a resolution
I think
approving the
it's in the wrong
design.
place.
Yeah, I don't.
Yes.
Yeah, all that, okay, thank you.
Second.
Motion is second. All right, any further comments or questions? If none, roll call.
Trustee Williams?
No.
Trustee Hebda?
No,
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
President Byrne?
Aye, motion carries.
The
I
second
hate
part,
signs.
You know what? God bless you. Motion carries. You know what?
This one I like.
Your Honor, how about if
Plus, we got the nicest Bucky's on the planet.
No, don't even go there.
Your Honor, how about if we bring back the operational criteria for at the next meeting, and we'll
That
talk
would
about
be
how to do that.
swell.
So,
You know?
Is
we'll,
there any more?
you got approval to sign, we'll bring
what?
back the sign-up criteria.
You know. Okay,
We're gonna go on there?
what's next? Video gaming.
He doesn't need
Oh, God, no.
This has been brought, well, the reason I put it on the agenda is because I've had
Oh, we're not.
queries.
Get this over.
I've
You know,
had queries too, but it's not to
yeah.
put it in.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm talking about direct queries from business establishments. So, you know, whether it's the bowling alley, Sam's, Whirly Ball, you know,
I don't want it.
I don't want it either.
Tilted Kilt, which is Famous Dave's, which we don't know what it'll be 2 months from now, but they're
Brunswick.
moving. They're moving from Tilted Kilt to Famous Dave's.
Right.
And who else? I don't know if it's Philly, maybe Philly G. I don't, you know, he'd have to figure that out where he put it.
Whatever. Tilt.
So, you know, and I think there was overtures even from Dave and Buster's.
Dave's.
Oh, to Famous Days.
Oh, Famous Dave's.
In some of my discussions with
By my house. I know.
the actual owners.
I
So,
guess
I mean,
my-
I just want to get it, bring it up. If we're going to do something, fine. If we're
Yeah.
going to leave the ordinance the same, fine. I don't care.
Well, right now, we don't have, we don't prohibit it,
Yeah, we do.
Well,
I
we
mean,
prohibit
is
gambling.
prohibited.
right? We prohibit gambling, but because our ordinance is superseded by the state law that went into effect, right?
They
By
didn't
not
say
taking.
You have to have it.
All we need to do, if we wanted to do video gaming in town, is to amend our code to take out the prohibition against.
Yeah, I mean, the one that's been in place probably since 1958.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to do, because I was thinking
Yeah, you
that,
can't just approve these.
well, no, I thought it was superseded by the state law, that our ordinance was trumped by the the state law already, so we didn't even need to take that action.
Well, the state has us in as prohibiting video gaming because our code prohibits
Is everybody
gambling.
listening to this?
So
Gotcha.
if we take out the prohibition against gambling, then we are able to do video gaming.
And I asked Bob to determine, and is Bob determined this, that we can actually limit the number of licensees?
In my opinion, we would do that by creating a new liquor license category whereby if someone wanted to do video gaming, they would get a video gaming liquor license. And that way we would be controlling who gets it and how many. Now,
So even the existing businesses that want to apply, then that would apply to them.
yes, and we'd have to work with them to make, if they wanted to switch. And
So we can charge $10,000 a license?
we could. Now, the only thing I'll say is, right now, there is nothing in the video gaming statute that preempts villages from doing anything. The statute is written whereby if you allow liquor, then they will issue a video gaming license. So my strategy would be to, in effect, to be saying to an operator, well, you might get a video gaming license from the state, but you need a video gaming liquor license from us, so it's not guaranteed.
And
We may
would we
run-
have two classes of that, one for full serve and then one for beer and wine?
We could do it for any, we could be a category, yes, the answer to that is yes, we could do whatever we want in terms
Well,
of the.
we'd probably need to, say Smashburger wanted to have video gaming, and they're only coming in for a beer and wine license, so we'd need to have,
We might not issue them a video gaming beer and wine license. We might just give them a beer and wine license. Another facility that might be able to accommodate it, we would give a beer and wine video gaming license.
right.
Okay. We've had a limited discussion on this, what, a couple of years ago?
Yes.
When McCarthy's wanted to come in.
Correct.
You know, and I wouldn't rule out that All Stars isn't another potential candidate. With that said, any of these shopping centers that they think they can do this in, there has to be, I think, compliance, you know, with the actual owner of the center. And for example, in Westfield, there's clauses in the tenants' leases, and probably there's some kind of a covenant with the actual owners, okay, that it calls for them to approve. And I was told that by John Genovese of Westfield Malls over a year ago. And I know I shared this with Mike Allison, and I probably talked to you, Bob, about this. And so, you know, and it's not that simple a process. Because so you're sitting here, you know, with Inland, for example. You know, I don't know what their lease agreements say with their tenants, but I would bet there's something in these lease agreements that speaks to a gambling operation.
And in my opinion, somebody who wanted to do video gaming would be subject to whatever lease restrictions are in their shopping center. That's a restriction
Well,
that they're bound by.
you know, if
separate-
you don't, I mean, could we go so far to modify too? You have to be the owner of the establishment, and it's gotta be, you gotta be the owner of the establishment.
By establishing.
In other words,
you mean
you're
real
the
estate?
owner, you're the actual owner of Famous Dave's. You're the actual owner of Whirly Ball. You're the actual owner.
By
of-
actual owner, do you mean the real estate or the business?
You actually, well, you could, we could go, hey, is it, you own the property, you know, building and land? Or do you have to be, you know, the sole, I guess, proprietor of a space?
Well,
Because
That
I
sounds
think
like-
it's gonna get convoluted with the shopping centers. at
Well,
first.
but
Yeah, but
And,
what-
and Scott Carr told me this also in
for Inland.
direct conversation.
So the key here is, we're not issuing the video gaming license.
Right.
The gaming board is. And so our ability to control would be the liquor license, creating a liquor license for that facility. So I suppose we could put a lot of different conditions in our liquor license because that's our prerogative to do that. The only caveat, as I said, is the gaming board may say, if you, allow gambling in your town, then we can give a license, a video gaming license, to anybody who has it. That's not the way the statute is written now, but obviously it's new, it's never been tested, so.
So in essence, I mean, what you're saying, kind of, is that they could apply, and if we've already approved them as a liquor licensee, they can put them in?
That's the way the video gaming board
Is that, okay,
looks
what
at
has
it.
occurred in any other community that's already has these licensed? It already has them in their establishments.
To the best of my knowledge, the way it's worked out is if the town allows video gaming, then all it takes is the operator to go to the video gaming board and say, I've met with all the criteria, separate area, 21 and under can't get in there, things like that. If they've met that, they get a video gaming license and they go into business and they don't come to the village.
So you haven't truly seen a model ordinance like we're talking about?
No.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
looking.
why don't, I got a real quick suggestion then tonight. Why don't you do some more homework on this? And, tell us what we can and can't do, because if potentially what you're saying, somebody can just apply, and then we gotta eat it?
Yep.
That isn't, yeah. Well, that's not, well,
He's waving at you back there.
you wanna step to the, are you here for this?
I work for a video gaming terminal operator, Taproom Gaming.
Well, you get 35% of the pie. So you got it.
I get way less than that, but the company does, yes.
You should have gold chains on already.
Like I said, I get way less. My name is Carey Mayman, and I'm with Taproom Gaming. We're out of
What's the
Northbrook.
name? What's it called?
Carey Mayman.
And the name of the company?
Taproom Gaming. And we're
Get that, Lisa?
Tap room?
Tap room.
correct.
Where is that?
Northbrook.
Northbrook. Okay.
And we supply the video terminals to the bars and restaurants. So I was just wanted to kind of get the temperature where Vernon Hills was with it. But the liquor license and the video gaming license are tied together as far as the state is concerned. But Vernon Hills has opted out of video gaming. So even someone with a liquor license in Vernon Hills cannot get a gaming license until you change your process. I have not seen, doesn't mean I don't know that much, but I haven't seen anybody with a separate gaming liquor license.
What towns are you operating?
We technically can operate throughout the state, so.
No, so give me some specifics. Are you happy?
Well, Niles, Morton Grove, Wadsworth, Wheeling, none of them that I know of have a separate video gaming license, a separate video gaming liquor license. I imagine you could
So
do it.
you as a distributor of the machines, you're operating in those communities?
Yes, and
Oh,
others.
did you write those down, Bob? Might as well check and see what kind of ordinance they got.
I did, and as far as I know, no one has tried to control this via a liquor license. And what they've done is, if they've allowed gambling in their town, then the village is out of it and has no control over it.
Right.
Now, there's nothing in the statute that preempts local municipalities. We have home rule powers. The question's going to be, can we control gambling in different facilities in our town?
Right.
Or is gambling statewide concern? And if it's a statewide concern.
Well, okay, I'll table this right now until we need answers, Bob.
Right, and
then if if you just say you repeal the gambling ordinance and it opens up the floodgates for everybody and anybody to put them in every place that's got a liquor license, well then,
It has to be a pouring license, by the way. Retail packaging license is
Right.
not enough. It has to be a pouring license.
It has to be a what?
A pouring license. Yeah,
Okay.
So, I mean, when I quite honestly pulled the list of liquor licenses in Vernon Hills, and if you take out the retail licenses, there's really not that many, and some of them some bars and restaurants choose not to participate. And then you have a lot of national chains in Vernon Hills. That's not always an easy, from my point of view, it's a tough sell because you're not necessarily
it's easier
deviating.
for a mom and pop.
Yeah, and there's not that many, so I don't know if you'll have any real floodgates opening up.
Yeah, okay. Nobody's come, I've been contacted, okay, by 4 or 5, establishments in town. So, yeah, I didn't think, well,
I'll check with the
we
game-
need more information.
I will check with the gaming
And,
board.
you know,
There's no law that's going to help us. It's going to be the gaming board's perspective. So I'll check with the gaming board.
well, who's the head of that?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, okay.
But I'll check it out.
All right, the new guy, Joe, did you have any of these in Elk Grove? That's what your nickname could be, Joe from Elk Grove.
Whatever you want it to be. Yeah, the Village of Elk Grove approved a video gaming ordinance in 2012. They did tie it to the liquor license with special conditions, including video monitoring, as well as it being set up in a way that it was in view of management and the supervisor of the store, while also being somewhat restricted. So in a place of business, you couldn't have kids entering into the
Yeah, do you have to have a separate room?
We had it situated where it was almost like a raised kind of like barrier, kind of like this, where you could still see in, but it was a little bit of a barrier separation.
And it was raised?
Yes.
The state requires that it's separated. It could be
Well, why
velvet
don't
rope.
you get his old license then? Maybe he earned his keep tonight.
I know Wheeling does the same.
Oh, he's not getting paid yet, Chief? All right, well, put him on the payroll then.
Give him an honorarium for tonight.
payroll, right?
My only concern is I don't want to get into being the test case. Okay? We got enough legal bills as it is.
Oh, I don't disagree. I mean, I don't, if we can control it, then I personally would approve it.
Sure.
If we can, restrict it. But if we're gonna get super, overridden, by the gaming board for the state of Illinois, then I would say we don't approve anything. We just leave the ordinance alone and that's it.
You control liquor licenses, right?
Yeah. Well, we need that
The
model
fear is
ordinance from
that
your
if
town.
we allow
They've
gambling,
got one too.
Yeah,
then
get them from whoever's
every liquor
got,
license that is pouring could do this. And the village board's not ready for every facility that could do it to be able to do it.
Right.
That's
I got it.
yeah.
that's the
By
pressure point.
pouring, you mean either or, A or B. In other words, it could be a beer and wine,
Correct.
as long as it's a pour, like Nirvana, right? I don't think they have an A, they have just,
But then they might have to hurdle with inland.
with what?
Inland
Oh, yes.
real estate.
Yes, sir.
I think that, and I think everybody at the mall's got an issue. From what Geneviese's told me, so,
A lot of the big anchor stores have gambling clauses in them, like Target, Jewel, that. they
yeah,
don't allow.
but I mean, in a mall operator,
I would
for all the
guess
inline
that, yeah.
stores,
Unless you give me a cut of it.
Okay.
Right.
All right, I don't have anything else. Anybody else have anything to add?
Well, yeah, the research you're gonna do, you're gonna talk to Inland, talk to Westfield, and
Yes.
get some definition
Yep.
on what the key, the Hawthorn, the River Tree, the whatever, all of
And
them.
I'll talk to the Illinois Gaming Board.
Yeah,
Well, you get,
We'll get
you
to it
get
then.
these ordinances from these other
I
towns.
will do that.
Yeah. Thank you again.
All right. Okay, what's next? The budget?
Social service grant.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
It looks like a
Oh, here it is. It's magic. John put it right in front of me. All right. Where do we want to go with this? Is this yours?
That one's fine.
Okay.
Yours is over there.
All right.
You have the list before you tonight. As you can see, Linda did a nice job preparing a spreadsheet here showing what was previously approved in 2013-14 and what these individual agencies have come back and requested. We have two things on here just to note. First, Spay and Stay has not requested funding this year, but they would like to come back in next year. we have a new request from CASA, which is Court-Appointed Special Advocates for Children, here located in Vernon Hills. They've requested $5,000 in funding. And then we also have a $5,000 request from Lake County Center for Independent Living. They're located in Mundelein. The remainder of those items, or the list of folks, are consistent with who we've served in the past. Again, we've seen requests for increases. Safe Places requested an increase, Youth and Family Counseling increase, and the University of Illinois Lake County Extension has also requested an increase. So the total request this year would be 2014, 2015 would be $33,000 as compared to $20,000 last year. So the staff's requesting direction.
The entire $50,000 for Omni is strictly out of the police budget. So
Correct.
we don't even really need to address that other than the fact to know that we're
Correct.
giving them $50,000, and we've already approved that.
Trustee Cook.
Just in glancing at the list, I'd personally like to see us keep the top one, Safe Place, at its 13-14 level. I still am not a fan of the University of Illinois Extension if we're, because some of these others are much more direct benefits to residents.
Yeah,
And since we're adding some of these others, I'd like to see that eliminated, and
It's $1,000 though.
Yeah, I would cut the Lake County Extension back to last year's. I need to know more about the Safe Place because that's a 66% increase.
Safe Place is a crisis center that allows for sheltering of battered women and children.
so I have no problem staying with
But,
what we did.
do we use them a lot and above
We-
and beyond Omni?
We do make referrals to them on a, I wouldn't say a regular basis, but we do make referrals to them.
It goes. I don't want to see what you see from Burns Hills.
Well, yeah.
And the other thing I was going to say was that, especially since they're new on our budget, I would like to see Lake County Center for Independent Living and CASA be 3 as opposed to 5, because I don't want to go up 13,000.
Well,
And that would bring us
what
down
kind
to
of funding do they get from the state, these agencies?
4, 6, that'd bring us down 7,000, so we'd be only going up.
Do we know what kind of funding they?
No, we really don't know.
No.
A lot of money.
Yeah,
If you ask them, they will tell you that their funding is being cut every year.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, so I don't know what their level of funding is.
yeah, you're right.
I mean, we have the two new ones this year. You could do a minimal amount, you could do $1,000 or something like that instead of the full 5s, and then.
Well, it's not so much that. I mean, in all honesty, maybe all these requests are legit. But nobody on staff takes a look at a budget for these operations, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
So this is just kind of a subjective process at best. But what I'm saying is it might be, a very good, organizations, that should, be funded. And if you're in Illinois, I'm sure they all got a case of the shorts. So, okay, well, who on staff, chief does? You're the only one that interacts with any and all of these, right?
Well, the only two that we interact with is a Safe Place and CASA.
Okay.
Question I have,
Okay.
and I don't mean to make it sound bad the way I say it, but with Safe Place, it's located in Zion. Do we have any of our residents, any from Vernon Hills go there, or?
We make referrals to them because it's one of the only places that's open 24 hours a day that we can get a hold of somebody and make a referral to. While there may be other places, and I'm not sure there may be other places, but this is one place where we do make referrals to.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I would hesitate in their case to give them the 5,000. And then Omni, right? Well, you're already covered.
We're already covered with Omni.
And so what? And what the other one is CASA.
Very new.
I was thinking the two new
But
ones at
again, that's,
3,000.
the CASA takes care of who?
Children, it's Children's and Advocacy Group.
That are abused.
Correct.
Then let's go 5 with them, but I'd like to see us go 3 on Lake County Center and back to 1 on the extension.
And so you said 3 for CASA?
No, I said 5 and
Oh.
5 for Safe
So
Place.
That's
But 3 for Lake County Center is what I'm
26.
recommending.
What are we giving Lake County?
I'm sorry, what was the other
3,000
5?
for
Are they
Lake
for
County Center
pants?
of Independent Living.
Is that what you're
5 for
looking at?
CASA,
No,
5 for
University of
Safe Place.
Illinois, Lake County
Oh,
Extension.
Jim, or, Tom,
Next year, I want this in a piece of paper. Got it? So I can do some math on here and you don't want
Well,
me
you
writing.
can't write on the screen these
No, I
days,
cannot.
yes, you can.
You can write on it.
Okay, all right, so what would that bring the
I
total
lost it.
to?
That's what I was trying to figure, somewhere.
Well, Larry's figuring it, right?
What'd you say, 101? Or we get it open
There's-
again?
It was 104.
Well, no, and Lake
And
County.
Lake County extension
Extension.
down to 1,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lake County
Okay.
Extension.
Or 0 for all I care.
Well,
Well, did they help us with the Emerald Ash Borer thing?
Yeah. Did they?
Dave Brown?
Lake County
Lake County
extension.
Extension.
University of Illinois, Lake County
Is this
extension.
Mike on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your mic is working, this was not. We got some information through them, but they really didn't serve a
So
lot
what
of
do they do
assistance.
for us potentially as a community?
Ooh,
Gardening.
Our department certainly hasn't utilized them very often.
They're an agricultural resource in the county, and they provide some type of programming for some of the schools, some of the less fortunate schools, Waukegan, North Chicago, Zion, those areas like that.
Soil testing,
Yes,
assistance for
right.
residents,
I mean, and
horticultural assistance.
they have to raise funds because, from what I understand through attending one of their dinners, they have to raise funds to receive matching funds from the University of Illinois. So that's how they do it.
Well, I
And
wouldn't
it's
cut
a-
them out completely. then.
It's almost a dollar for dollar type of situation.
So we cut them back to 1,000.
Let's cut them back to 500,
Okay?
because I'd rather see us give it to CASA, because I think
What?
that's a free.
Okay.
To come to 5.
So Safe Place is 5,000, correct?
Yes,
Cap,
2,500.
2,500. Serenity House,
1,500. I'm a
Okay.
big supporter of that.
Yeah.
Youth and Family Counseling
Stay at 4,
at 4, okay. Pads,
That's fine.
that's 5.
okay. University Extension,
500.
500. 1,000 for the Girl Scouts,
Fine.
1,000 for Fresh Start,
what are we giving Boy Scouts?
Nothing.
Apparently they didn't apply.
Fresh Start, $1,000.
What about Lake County Independent Living?
Let's make that
2.
2,500, because I think
Okay, what do they do?
They assist persons with disabilities to help them make their houses more accessible, for instance, or workplace. They do workplace assessments for companies when they have issues with providing access for persons with disabilities.
Sure.
They'll come in and work with you.
Okay. Yeah, I would say, what, 3?
we're saying either
25.
2,500.
That's fine. You want to start with 25 because, you know, it's,
Since I think CASA is a bigger.
Okay.
right.
And then 5,000 for CASA?
yeah.
Okay.
And because we're La Casa, Lake County, is that what, La Casa?
Yes.
And this is.
Sorry, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, what does that come out to, Larry Nackert?
28,000.
That
Recapping, we're taking 1,500 from Lake County Extension, 2,500 from the Center for Independent Living, and 1,000 from Youth and Family Counseling.
28.
So that's a total of 5,000 we're taking from the 33 for a total of 28,000.
No, but we're giving Lake County Center for Independent Living, okay, 2,500.
Right.
Right, Larry?
Right, but I'm saying from their initial request, we're taking 2,500.
Okay, so what's the happy total?
28,000. We currently carry 26,000 in the budget, but,
All right, so this would be 2,000 more?
right.
All right, is everybody clear on that?
Yes, sir.
All right, is there a motion to approve 28,000 in social services grants for the
So many.
fiscal year 2014, 2015? There's a motion and a second. Roll call.
Trustee Hamdan?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
For the record, I'd vote aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, you want to just go to Larry's budget review?
Yeah.
Notes? Okay.
Yep.
The notes, okay, wait, I gotta find them.
Okay.
I gotta get item to touch this.
And the chief still wants to go to breakfast, right?
Friday?
Okay.
You buying?
I'll think about.
I'm buying.
Clean.
Oh, time.
Didn't realize the mic was on.
Only, remember, only 2 of you can go.
This is a private
Can you-
affair.
Can you, erase that part?
Well, let's see, 8 o'clock for,
Yeah.
Make me the late one. I was
Okay, Larry, you ready to go?
You know what? Chief, I gotta, be at the dentist at 9:15,
Oh,
so
come
why
on.
don't we do it at, 11?
That's lunch, that's not breakfast.
We could do brunch, all right?
Oh, okay.
That's about the time I get up.
Okay, I can relate to that, chief, you know. All right,
Okay, we're on page number 8.
we'll have eggs,
that's right, no.
Where do you want me?
not in town,
Go to
because
your
I'm not going to IHOP or Denny's. Yeah, that's fine,
11 o'clock.
okay.
You don't have to broadcast that for
It's on, right there.
The whole village is gonna show up at LA, it's 11 o'clock on Friday morning.
Just to, before we get into the agenda items, just an informational piece that, if there are no objections, we'll address when we bring the final budget. We got the bids in for the Corporate Woods project, and it was $31,000 higher than budgeted. So rather than the $1,241,000 for the motor fuel tax, we'll be budgeting $1,272,000. And as I say, it's my intention to bring that back when the budgets goes for final.
What are you on, M?
I'm not on
Oh,
M.
I'm sorry.
I'm just giving a little preface before we get into M.
Oh, okay.
Just to stay with,
And
the
that's,
change.
that was
For the motor fuel tax
for
budget, which you
Baker's
addressed
contracts?
right, which you addressed 2 weeks
Okay,
ago.
and have we adequately addressed the, if the price of oil goes up or down in this contract?
It goes up and
Hello.
down every day.
That provision is not included in the bid set.
Do we want it to be? No.
We do not. That is how we got into the prior issue.
Okay,
So we made sure that was not included.
that's all I wanted to ask on
Well,
that. Since I remember,
We go home now.
yeah.
I do have a question, though. You told us, and I know, you gotta be prepared to get beat up on this. You said, hey, we get out there early, we're gonna get the best prices.
Okay.
I'm prepared to answer that. All the bids that I have been seeing have been higher than normal. Bid prices for road projects are higher than last year. That's happening across the board. We're trying to understand whether or not that's competition. We're trying to understand to what degree Curran, one of the major contractors, and their bid pricing was certainly gave us more competitive numbers, and we're not seeing them as competitive with Peter Baker. Peter Baker's winning a lot of the awards that I'm seeing.
But still at a higher than anticipated value.
Absolutely.
They're winning because they're in the neighborhood?
Maybe less competitive competition.
Yeah, all right, well. Where's Kern? Where are they at, Coran or? They
For-
McHenry?
Not quite to McHenry,
Yeah.
further west, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Our contractor's out of Lake Bluff, Peter Baker, this year.
We find out from the bakers if they're getting any fracking oil out of North Dakota.
I'll check into that.
Yeah, sure you will. Okay. Okay, what else?
Okay, item M is the replacement fund, and it's $1,069,000 budget, a 16.3% increase over last year. We have $724,000 of budgeted reserves, and then $345,000 of budgeted equipment purchases. And the equipment purchases are really vehicles for public works, which, let's see, specifically.
I can help you, Larry. So there's a replacement of one of our F-250 pickup trucks. It includes a plow. It's a 2003 vintage, so by the time we have it on the streets, it'll be a 12-year-old vehicle. Senior bus, the John Deere backhoe, and the cat wheel loader were all on the replacement list for this year. Senior bus, there's one thing that John and I wanted to discuss with you is prior to purchasing it, we understand that we want to present some alternate options in terms of how to provide senior bus service. It's a window of opportunity. We'd like to at least ask the question at this point, whether or not we need to purchase the bus or if there's other alternatives. We'll ask the question, the board will give us direction.
Do we, I mean, these are all new vehicles,
Yes, sir.
and it's a new wheel loader.
It is.
Do we ever look on the used market for guys that went belly up like the real world does?
We have looked into,
'Cause
yes.
There's been a lot of iron, as they say, on the streets. I mean,
See, one of the
I'm just curious because, there's people that I could put you in touch with that could probably help us immensely with something that's,
Well, I was going to
Go
say
ahead,
that
yeah.
there's a possibility of that, because one of the things.
I'm not
if we-
saying the
if-
bus, but I'm
if-
saying
well, no, but
construction
on a truck,
equipment.
because you put a plow on, you void your warranty. You can get all the heavy-duty equipment, but you void your warranty when you put a plow on. So
I'm
you-
not talking about the truck. I'm not talking about the 250. I'm talking about, the
wheel
backhoe.
loader and the backhoe.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably stuff that's sitting in some guy's lot he hasn't used in 6 years, that.
Well, I don't know if you want that.
Yeah, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, I guess you would buy it, but we wouldn't, because we don't know what we're doing
No.
when it comes to that. No, I'm
We'll
serious
probably
now.
get 12 years out of a vehicle because we store it inside. Something that you store outside, you're going to be replacing it a lot more frequently.
Elements have
I did pose that question.
I'll give you a guy's phone number, and his name is Mike, and he's like from a foreign country originally, and he could help you buy these two pieces of equipment, and the cost would knock your hat off. He did work in town at one time.
I think I've met that
I
gentleman.
think you know who he is. He likes to do concrete, parking lots, and,
Does it well.
yeah.
So
Would the board okay that they actually talk to somebody that really deals in used equipment that is of a
agree.
very, very high quality?
Sure.
Any of the expert here have any rebuttals on that?
I used to
Department
sell
head, not you. Any department head.
but don't talk.
Yeah, I guess my comment would be is that we would have to we'd have to carefully evaluate this equipment because, again, you don't want to buy trouble. And
I couldn't agree with you more, John.
if somebody is not if they parked it out or they're not taking care of it, or if it's sitting out on a lot, it's like buying a used car, so to speak. And if we can get a, if we can get a Carfax or a backhoe fax or something that can tell us a little bit about the equipment, I think.
Well, it's a lot more complicated than buying a car.
Well, I understand, but
Yeah.
it's still a very complicated and expensive piece of equipment. And if you buy a lemon, you're going to spend a lot of money trying to fix it.
Right.
And it may very well spend more time in the shop than it does out in the field.
Do you think that we would use some of this equipment more than a construction company that's really in full operation, or a road builder that's worked? They work, I would love you to talk to him. I would absolutely love you to talk to him.
I can talk to him. To answer your question in terms of use, I agree with you. We would not use it as much as them. They end up putting on some very high miles on it because they do use it a
more
lot.
accurately hours.
Yeah. Very good, very good. And one of the things that we did within the last 2 years when we purchased a forklift, we didn't buy a brand new one. We went and we purchased one that was refurbished. Well, they go through the whole thing. It's fully repaired. It comes with a 1-year warranty. We need to make sure whatever we buy is going to serve us too. We'll certainly look into that. I've actually talked to Al Funk, our fleet mechanic, and asked him what his thoughts were. So that's not foreign to us about asking that question.
Is the board okay with it?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're talking from the car guy.
Is staff
I would say
okay?
Yes.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
I'm just saying that. I'm
Absolutely.
asking that one facetiously.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
good.
You have my permission to call him.
I appreciate it.
And I'm going to tell you who it is. It's Mike Fire Chief with Capital Cement. They've only been in business about 100 years. Not him. Oh, the skepticism. I love it. Okay.
Moving on.
Oh, wheel loader cost you.
I mean, we're looking at
$50-some
two
odd
pieces of equipment that are what? We got $250,000 there. Okay.
And we were just going.
I understand.
5,000.
And will you keep this equipment for how many years? 15? Without,
12 years.
Well, I'll tell you the backhoe is 1988 vintage.
I mean, we've done work to it.
We've done work to it. It's served us well. It's time to get a new one.
And how much do you think we've spent on maintaining it?
I couldn't even venture a guess.
Okay.
It's the typical greasing, et cetera. We haven't had major parts that we've had to. It's going to last us a good long time. We want to make sure we buy a good one.
Okay. All right. Okay. What's next?
Motion to approve the Section M replacement fund budget for an expenditure of $345 with reserves of $724 for a total of $1,069,000.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? If not, roll call.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, N?
And resident benefit fund, pages 131 to 134. This budget is $159,000, which is a $57,463 decrease from last year's original budget. Two reasons for that. One is that last year, in order to make it that budget for the VHAC comparable to the prior year, we had put the new part-timers and their fringe benefits in this budget to compare that cost with the contractual cost from the year before. This year, we're moving the part-timers to the Public Works budget where we typically have them. The other decrease is that $15,800 of reverse 911 costs were moved to the dispatch center budget. So that's basically the changes in that budget. anything you want to add, Dave? So questions on that budget?
Well, we're down to 28,000 now, right, with the grants?
Oh, correct. So
we're
we're actually, we're going up,
158.
so we'd be at 161,000. I apologize, right. We'd be at 161,000, because we had budgeted 26,000. And plus 3,000 for, we also have 3,000, well, we had budgeted 26,000 for the literal grants, and then 3,000 for the charity outing, which is a total of 29,000. We're now up to 31,000.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I'm
161.
sorry, I skipped a step, I'm sorry.
And the 130,000 is for landscape contractors? Mostly?
Mostly, yeah. There's also, let's see, yeah, mostly landscape contractors. There's also some for electric, water and sewer, lighting, but, and commodities such as fertilizer and herbicide, lacrosse tournament, porta potties, trees, shrubs.
Yeah, our largest services account is to mow the grass out there, big fields, 29,000. That's the lion's share of the services. And then supplies, just, buying supplies to keep the infields maintained and fertilized.
Okay, now within this, in today's transmittal, actually I need his attention. That's all right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, we're dragging you in two places at once. In today's transmittal, you discussed the fact about the Grand Prix.
Correct.
Not continuing that.
The bicycle.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And that there was a large contingent of public works time. Is there something we can pull out of this budget because of not having that, or is it just too much sunk cost in there that it just?
In terms of the bicycle race, really that would be in our overtime budget for Public Works would be and there really wasn't a lot of overtime. It was a one-day event. We didn't have to really prep. We did have to borrow some message boards and put those out, but wasn't really a big impact.
Yeah, mostly the police time.
And there's police time, right.
Sure.
Okay. Motion to approve 161 as the expenditure for resident benefit budget.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any further comments or questions? If not, roll call.
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor. Community events budget this year is projected to increase 1.9% for a total of $141,000. This is, in essence, a $2,600 increase over the previous budget year. Of that, Arbor Theater events, 5 concerts, no increase. Light show is actually seeing a decrease. We're purchasing less equipment. $4,500 for the fishing derby, no change. $41,100 for 4th of July is a 5% increase. This reflects basically a $2,000 increase in fireworks. We're anticipating a price increase this year. Also a reminder, we are still partnering with the Park District for both a band in the parade and in the evening's entertainment. Pageant's actually going up $200 for miscellaneous expenses, so that net number should read $5,940. Summer celebration, slight increase, primarily due to this is for the fireworks. I apologize. $700 increase, which is again reflects a possible increase in cost from the suppliers. And then $20,500 for Oktoberfest, which is a 6.2% increase. About $1,200 of additional costs related to increase in entertainment costs and some miscellaneous expenditures for that event.
Total cost for fireworks on the 4th? About 25 grand?
24, I believe, is going to be the number this year.
Is that about 1,000 a minute?
Actually, it's a little bit more than that.
All right.
Again, remember, we pay a premium because it's
Yeah.
on the day of the event, unfortunately.
Yeah.
26,000 will be the number this year. So we'll get about 18 to 20 minutes of show for that.
No 12 inches?
No 12 inchers, not even a 6-incher in the bunch.
What is it now? I mean, what are they?
4s, 4, 5s max. And that's partly because of the crowd concentration, wind, and fire marshal requirements.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So-
That's all right. I mean, is that more state? Fire,
There
or
is
is it
some
our
state, but it's more our local guys too.
Yeah.
They set up the fallout rings, and every inch you have to add a couple 100 feet or something like that. So
Yeah.
we could be sitting people out on the Lakeview Parkway and
Oh, yeah.
watching the show.
I remember one year lighting up Ernie a little bit, you know. Went buy gas. Hey, I got to talk to you. I go, "Yeah."
So the total amount is $141,140 for community events.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Motion carries. P. That's you too, John?
Larry.
Summer celebration budget,
Well,
we left it at the same level as last year, 158,600, provides a general guideline, and then, there are some changes that they need to make, but basically, we left it at the same level.
John, did you tell the new guy what he's taking that over now?
Not yet.
Oh, you didn't break the news to him yet?
Hasn't
Has
started.
he got any gray hair?
Not
He
yet.
will.
He will.
Oh, yeah, we'll take care
Yeah,
of
we'll
that. You know.
plan for that.
We gotta start taking
Remember
pictures
John,
of
his
people,
hair was
you
black
know, with
when
him every year to see how he aged like the
he-
president, you know? Okay.
I had dark hair when I started.
Oh, yeah, John was, yeah,
I
he
did
wasn't
too, John.
using any Grecian projects. Okay, is there a motion to approve the?
Motion,
Is there?
motion to.
158,600 for the summer celebration budget.
Second.
Motion is second, roll call.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, general purpose budget?
On item Q, page 147, the basic items that come out of this budget are basically health insurance for disabled employees, contingency, debt service, and transfers to the tax increment fund that require 10% match. Because of the pre-funding of the debt service, or the pre-redemption of the 2004 bonds, we're able to reduce the debt service payment from $1,128,000 to $722,000. So the overall budget went down from $1,345,054 to $1,172,963, or about a 12.8% decrease. Any questions on that budget?
Oh, like that.
I'd like to go slightly askew here. The TIF fund, where's Opus?
They're not moving at this point, so.
You know what, and I haven't talked to Sean Spellman, have you, Jen?
I have not recently.
Should we maybe ask him to come in?
That would be a wonderful idea.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago.
Sure. I will see what I can do about getting a meeting.
It's okay.
Yeah, okay.
There, no.
There you go.
That better?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, thanks. Excuse me, yeah, okay, we should have a sit down with him.
I can't see.
Okay. Yep.
Maybe after, April 1st or something.
Sure. We'll get it scheduled.
And if we're going to do it as a 2-on or whatever, I'd like to participate, seeing as how I participate in the other ones if we're gonna invite
Oh, I
you
don't
here?
care, sure. No, I don't know if we
Yeah,
want to
I
do
don't
that,
know.
you know. What, would the zoning and this run out sometime this year, right?
No.
Whatever we approved?
Well, the TIF district expires in 2025,
Well, I understand that,
I
but
think.
the new zoning we gave them.
Well, we didn't give him any new zoning.
I thought we approved something.
No.
I thought we came close.
Well, we've talked to him about it, but we haven't.
Oh, we didn't bring it back.
We haven't
before.
altered anything or anything like that, because remember, he hasn't settled on a number.
Oh.
You know, he was working up here and kind of funneling it down, and we hadn't settled on a number yet.
Right. He brought us conceptual.
Correct.
He never brought anything
Correct.
to the board.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'll get him, we'll get him in here.
But I mean, isn't our ordinance with something else? If we give you zoning, you got what, a year to pull the trigger?
Well, but.
Oh, forget the tip.
No,
I mean, just.
No, I understand.
Pull a building permit?
Well, but remember, when it was approved, it was the entire project. So in essence, he has done work out there, both
There was
above ground
compliant.
and below ground work, so.
Well, he did do some of it.
Oh,
You
he
are-
did, I mean,
Yeah.
he did about half of the project, so.
Meet with them and.
Yeah.
So,
All right, fine. Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, we'll get him in, hopefully.
Okay, okay.
Tell me when award.
All right, but with any other project, if we approved the Oaks, okay, and they didn't pull permits for over a year, wouldn't they have to come back in under our ordinance?
If the special use permit that granted the PUD would expire after a year. So if there was no work that was done, the board would have the option of rescinding the approval or extending it for a year, which we've done on a couple of
I
occasions.
know, I'm just
so.
saying in generality, if it, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying specifically with Opus. He's the one who brought up Opus.
Right.
I'm just expanding.
We'll get Opus in here.
All right, okay, what's,
Motion to approve $1,172,963 for the general purpose budget.
okay, there's a motion and a second.
Second.
Any further comments or questions? Roll call.
Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz?
Motion carries. R.
The administration budget, it's a compilation of the general, administrative general fund, the manager's office, the finance department, and cable. The budget total is $2,130,205,000, which represents a 3.2% increase over the current year's budget. Basically, the changes with regards to this, I'll walk through. Administrative, the general account represents a 5.24% increase. The balance of that increase is represented by the inclusion of $5,000 for animal removal services, skunks. So, yeah. So that's $5,000 in the admin general account. For the manager's office budget, it represents a decrease of 2.99% over the current year's budget. Basically, what this represents is my new salary compared to Mike's old salary, and the true-up that goes along with that. That also includes the elimination of the fee, or I'm sorry, the annual rent that we charge in there for a village-owned vehicle that goes into capital reserves. And then it also reflects health insurance increase that we're anticipating with our new assistant joining us. And then the cable budget represents a 0.05% decrease, or it's going down $71. So basically what it means is that we're buying less equipment and we're doing some additional maintenance and active maintenance of equipment, and also we're continuing on with the programming that we typically do, one of which is to use Brando Communication for assisting in production of those programmings. So,
Okay, this is Mike's,
Mike Storto, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and where, our revenues from the franchisees for like AT&T and Comcast, what budget is that under?
Well,
Is
those
that
are,
just general fund?
those are general fund revenues. We're receiving about 285,000 a year in from Comcast and about 100,000 from AT&T.
And this is, kind of an opus type comment that Trustee Schultz made. Is there any way to get AT&T to actually offer their service to the rest of the town? I mean, can we?
I would say no. I mean, we've talked to him, Mike's talked to him until he's blue in the face.
Yeah, but when
And at
we
this,
had a real sit down with them?
again, it's a corporate decision on their part. We can absolutely get somebody in here and talk, but
That's how I got mine, was the last time they were in, and they
Yeah.
said,
Yeah, I
you've got
know.
it
Well,
all
I
in
mean,
New
they-
Century Don. I said, no, you don't, because I can't get it.
So they put a
I had
box
mine
in?
in a week.
All right, well then, I got,
We don't have it.
you know, okay.
I couldn't either till that night.
Can
All
we
of a
put
sudden I had
this,
it.
all right, can we put at some future date, I mean, I'll keep moving here, the whole cable issue on, plus, I got a phone call from a couple of people that have said it's been done in other communities where they went to, I guess almost like a Google type of a cable competitor to our friends at Comcast and at AT&T. And I think it's something I really want to look into because this, and I can get information from this individual, but apparently there's competitors all, because of the tech that keeps increasing,
huh?
that might be stepping to the plate.
Okay.
I would,
Yeah.
I'm sure, we have some residents that work for Google, and I got a phone call from one of them.
Okay.
I said, that could be real interesting.
I mean, is it,
I don't know how they get all the content figured out or not, but it's certainly, I'll bring them in, and we'll have a chat with them.
Yeah, that'd be
And
great.
we'll bring Mike in, but I just thought from a competitive standpoint, Trustee Cook.
Just want to quickly clarify that the number on, Larry, on the number on page
Oh,
149.
yeah, please go with the spreadsheet
The other
at
two were
the front.
205, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming that was right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
All right, are there any other comments or questions?
Motion to approve.
One more piece of that budget, which is the finance budget, before we approve the overall administration budget. Few points. One is that the overall salary of the finance department is up $11,956. And part of the reason, usually we don't have enough notice to budget for somebody's basically use of their benefit time. Also, we're doing some overlap between the new retiring assistant finance director and the new assistant finance director and the retiring assistant finance director. That's one of the increases in finance. The next one is property and liability insurance. That's up $32,511, which is about a 5.3% increase, and unfortunately, that's the trend we've been.
Does that include workers' comp?
Pardon? Yeah, workers' comp, and we do have.
So how much is attributable to workers' comp?
I know it's about 55-60%. I don't know the exact amount this year. But the
department that's most responsible for that?
Well, there's.
I'm guessing the police department.
I'd say without a doubt that's where the most workers' comp cases are generated.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And then the other, but we'll be paying approximately $618,000 to IML, but unfortunately, our history has not been that good recently. And the other area where there is increases in IT equipment, basically this is IT for the entire village generically, except what's specific to the dispatch center. And the key components there is we're virtualizing we're virtualizing our server system. So we used to have a bunch of old servers, and now we're going to have several large servers and storage area networks. So that's a piece of equipment that's let me see, I'm sorry. It's, that's a piece of equipment that's $20,000. So, but that's important for three reasons. One is it just, with the increasing amount of data that the village has, we need those types of systems to be efficient. They also allow our virtual servers in the two buildings to back each other up because we're separating the storage of data from the processing, and it also provides a sophisticated backup system. And then finally, within the IT maintenance, we have to pay maintenance for the virtual servers. We've also incurred an additional cost because of moving to the Google for email, but that provides us an archiving system which we never had before. And the final piece of that is we are going to increase our bandwidth from 5 megs to 10 megs, and that's partly because of the dispatch customers we're having to serve are kind of making the 5 meg obsolete. That has increased the cost of information technology services by $16,312 relative to last year's budget.
Can I ask a question? Where do all the cell phones fall under all different budgets?
Yes, they do.
I wish they all were in one place.
Oh, I'm sorry?
Can we get a...
Do we go through one vendor?
I think we've actually made the decision to go through several vendors, and one of the selling points of that strategy was in an emergency, we'd have a better chance of some of our cell phones surviving.
Right. If a system went down, for instance, or got locked up.
Do we have Verizon for anything?
Yes.
Yes.
For both vendors? From both vendors? Verizon.
Well, we have Verizon,
system?
we have Sprint.
Which one's better?
They're one and the same.
I have Verizon, so.
Yeah. Okay.
The company has Sprint.
Public Works has.
Mine's Verizon.
What do the police have?
I don't know.
Okay,
I mean, we shop the cost. We go through the state bid, to buy phones when we need them.
Yeah.
Lisa's a bulldog on this, so she shops it real hard. So.
Lisa does?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Do we have like waterproof cases for these people, or?
Yeah.
For the police?
I don't.
Or how, or I'm just concerned, how's everything backed up with them then?
I don't know. I truly don't know. A lot of them tuck them in their vests.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, is it, some of it, I'm sure they got more than one phone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
I would think that, so you got the hotline, to call, an informant to call the guys, I would assume that's on.
You're speculating on that, right? You're on.
Special friends. Special friends.
Nothing's off the record on that. I mean, I assume you probably should have to.
I have to.
Okay, fine. All right, so what do you mean, need a motion here, or do we already have?
Motion to approve, was it 2,138,05?
13205.
132.
Okay, the administrative budget. All right, is there a second?
Yeah, with my great thanks for adding the $2,000 back in for the luncheon, the reestablishing the employee appreciation luncheon.
Okay.
Second.
Motion is second? Okay, roll call.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Motion carries. S,
Committee budget is unchanged from this current year, so the total budget is $30,375.
Motion to approve. The
is there a
amount
second?
of
Second.
30,000.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Are there any capital
Motion
expenses
carries.
that they're looking for?
No.
Judiciary budget.
Judiciary budget this year is reflected to increase 10.3% to $353,000. This covers all of our legal costs. The increase is just reflected in terms of ongoing litigation.
Motion to
Does this
approve.
anticipate a significant amount of appeals after April?
You know what, I don't know. It'll be something that we'll have to talk with the board about to see how far you want to go with
Right.
some of those things. So.
Right.
Understood.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve the judiciary budget of $353,000. Is there a second?
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Motion carries. U, President Trustee Budget. President Trustee Budget is $75,168. It's unchanged from last year.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Present, because we have not addressed the candy issue.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Continue.
All right, and for the record, I'd vote aye.
Okay. Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
And the mayor would vote aye. Okay, motion carries. The candy, I will have to, I don't know, maybe we call the Brax. Tax increment fund budget, the tax increment fund budget is $1,014,187.
Right, and that's a 14.7% increase. Essentially, the budget is, for all intents and purposes, debt service. We're increasing the principal retirement on the 2007 bond by $100,000, and then because there's essentially a 30% mandatory redemption on any required payments, that's another $30,000. So we're increasing. So there's $130,000 right there, which is essentially the increase in our budget from last year. But we are working on retiring the 2007 bonds. We're paying interest on the 2012 bonds. And then there was a 2007 general obligation bond, which we were only paying interest on at this point.
What do we expect to see in the increment and the TIF this, I guess, next year? 14, 15, do we have any idea?
Well, we're looking at about we're projecting a 3% increase that, from what we actually received, 10% from what we budgeted last. The current year we're in, we were 7% over revenue projection in what our increment was. This year we're going to have a bit of a setback because of the appeal of the Heritage Building, but it's the assessor's opinion is that that'll be looked at next year, and this was probably some a temporary setback in that regard.
Look, when will we, so that'll be decided, well, I have to defer to, village attorney. Where are we at with that?
That appeal was granted, the reduction was granted. I could get.
And it's considered rental units?
Yeah, let me put that in context. a reduction was granted, but not the requested reduction. They got about half of what they requested. So I think we did good, and we saved ourselves about $100,000 by challenging it or helping to challenge it. And I'm of the understanding that next year is going to be a lot better for us.
So the taxes coming out of that building, is that the 85 unit building when you say the Heritage building?
Right.
Yes.
Is that right, Bob?
The one with the commercial at the ground floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the taxes that we will actually see out of that building?
Well, I know I have it here, and I hate to say from memory, but let me search a moment, and I will.
That's all right. Just call me tomorrow, unless the rest of the board wants to know.
Well, the only question that I have is, are they allowed to appeal again next year?
I don't know that for sure,
I'm sorry, Larry, I think the answer is yes. Some of the reductions are granted for a 3-year period, and some are just granted for a 1-year period. I believe this was just a 1-year period,
Right.
but yes, they can, and I believe that they're geared up to do it every year, because these law firms that do that work, it's just a mandatory filing, if you will, from a procedural standpoint in the law firm. So that once it's in that system in a law firm, every year they do.
So basically, we've got another 9 years left. It was 2023?
2025.
Oh, 2025. So we've got 11 years. So that's $1.1 million that we'll lose, assuming
Right.
it's 100,000.
Well,
that we're
I
losing.
mean, part of it was based on the fact that these were apartments rather than condos, and presumably some point they're going to convert to condos, and at that time, the value is going to shoot up tremendously.
You got a prediction on that?
No, I probably stepped out on a limb a little too much right now.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And this saw is behind you.
Yeah, Dave, pull Larry back in off the ledge.
Okay, so what we, for the next 9 years, we're gonna lose how much a year, potentially?
100,000.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Okay, well.
discussions I've had are that next year would be in a lot better position. I'll just leave it.
All right, okay, so the motion, do we have a motion in a second?
No.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the tax increment fund budget of $1,114,187?
Of expenditures and resources of $1,452,000. So made.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn the committee at all?
So moved.
I don't want,
We got 3
We
to
missed
go.
one.
I know we missed one.
One to go. Yep.
1 to go. We have 1 to go. Sorry.
No, it's budgeted, that's true. I think that's why I'm going to breakfast.
Yes.
Oh, you just want to hold that one till next time?
I would like to.
Oh, that's fine. Hold it.
Okay.
So,
So is there a motion to adjourn the committee at all? And we'll
I already
bring it
made the
back.
motion.
Well, but we're bringing back at the next regularly scheduled board meeting, prior to that, the open meeting, whatever.
The public hearing.
Public hearing, thank you.
Yeah.
For this, and this should be included in that.
It doesn't have to be.
Well,
though.
maybe, Larry, I think, go over the options.
Yeah, I can see approaching it either way. We can amend the budget based on either use of bond proceeds or use of reserves, or we can incorporate in the budget at this time. I don't think it.
Yeah, I know it's a
Makes
budgeted item, doesn't mean
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
be
spend
trusting
it.
soul and leave them there.
I mean,
Did I say that?
Right.
Anybody hear what I just said?
Right. Either way, it's an item out there that needs further board approval. In one case, it's in the budget, but it still needs board approval. In the other
Okay,
case,
this
we
is
need to
coming
amend
back
the
the first meeting in April,
Well, the budget hearings,
budget here.
and then we'll bring it
first-
back,
Right.
first meeting in April.
the budget here.
Right.
On-
But are we
both.
gonna approve
On
it
April
that
1st.
night?
No,
The budget,
The
at
budget-
board level.
the budget is approved on or we're scheduled to be approved on April 15th.
I was gonna
So
say it's the
we
second
could,
meeting.
we could just.
So it's the second.
Right, so we could discuss it on the
On the
first.
first,
On the
right.
first.
Okay.
And we'll be,
Motion to table if we need to
Is
do
there a
that.
second? I want to table
yes.
it for tonight.
That's it. Yeah.
Roll call.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz? Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, there is that good enough to end the committee at all?
we're done.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
So made.
Yeah, okay, we need to make a motion to adjourn. Okay.
Second?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Motion and a second. All right, roll call.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz?
Give him a plug.
Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Motion carries. Thank you and good night. Stordo, is everything turned on?